In the 10,000 mile update for our Ford F-150, we kind of glanced at the Yeti Loadout that is in the back of the truck, and someone asked if we would do a quick review of that or go through our tools that we take on road trips with us. This is not that box, though we do have it. It just wasn't super convenient to get. So we're gonna go through our camera equipment, which we also keep in a Yeti Loadout, and I guess start with the box itself and why we use it. So the construction of the box is pretty solid, and that was important to us because this is holding all of our camera gear. And beyond the solid construction, which kind of stops the side impacts and things like that, because it's holding a lot of camera gear, it's also nice that it is lockable. And so we have this master lock on it, and like Yeti sells their own lock, but we wanted a combination lock instead of a keyed lock because that's easier to get in and out of at a glance or in a hurry. Besides being lockable, it's got these two monster clips on it that keep it very secure when shut. In fact, I think when we were originally starting with this, you almost had to like punch these closed. It's loosened up a little bit over the last year, but it's still very solid. Opening it up, the other thing is that it is watertight. So it's got this gasket around the inside here, and that gasket keeps water from entering, which is important when you're talking about electronics. So a couple of other quick features that the outside of the box has. It does have these strips here so that you can tie them down inside the bed of your truck. The newer version of the loadout comes with a strap that uses these as the anchor for the strap. And then on the bottom, and hopefully this is pretty visible back here, but it's got sliding cleats on it so that it doesn't slide around super easily. Particularly in the bed of the truck when we're driving and moving around. The inside construction, very similar, and the walls again are thick and stop any impact from hitting any of the cameras or anything that's inside. Outside of what's visible or what you can see right now, I am going to point out that there is a center divider in here, which I'm going to pull out for the time being, which is nice because the way we load this, there is actually something on the other side of it that it's nice to keep kind of separated. So going through the interior of this, we again use this for all of our camera equipment. So it houses these two GoPros here. The first one here, which is the GoPro Hero 9 with the media mod on it, as well as the max lens mod. That helps some of the distortion and shakiness when we're using this camera. It also has this microphone on the outside, which helps with voice. And it is usable with a USB-C microphone as well. It has a couple of hot shoes on it, and the hot shoes are nice because you can kind of mount different things on there. So it's got a USB-C there, it's got a mic adapter, and to be honest, I've never opened the top one, but it's a micro or USB mini. The other is just a standard Hero 9. No mods on it or anything like that. We really like the action cameras because they're kind of infinitely mountable. We are starting to use the DJI cameras a little bit more, and it's a lot because of the magnetic mount on it rather than these fingers that are used on the GoPros. So these fingers are nice. They're kind of better than the original option with the cage around it, but they're still a little bit more difficult than having just the magnetic mount. And then the other thing that's in that part of it here is the remote for the two GoPros. So this is actually programmable so that you can have it connected to both of the GoPros at the same time. On the left side is a battery charger for GoPros, as well as a Nikon battery and probably a half dozen or so other batteries for the GoPro. In the front of this section, there are a couple of things. So this is a case for the DJI Pocket, which I'm using right here. What's nice about this camera is how infinitely portable it is. I'm actually a little surprised that it's not on a faster refresh with DJI than it is. There's some rumors that there's a new one coming out relatively soon, but I am surprised that they don't refresh it more frequently, because I think this one at this point is nearing 3 years old, maybe 2. Next in that is a case for batteries for the DJI action camera that I'm using up here. We have our wireless microphones and charging case for it, a cage for the DJI camera that I'm using above, and then just kind of a handful of different GoPro mounts. Underneath this little tray here is where we keep our DJI Air 2. So this is the drone we're using right now. We really like it. It's kind of quick, easy to get up. I have flown Inspires. I have flown the DJI Mavic Pros. This right now is doing really good for us. The one complaint I'd have on this one is that I can't use the new DJI RCs with the screen on them for this drone, which would be really nice because I think it's easier than having to connect a phone. So I'm going to put this stuff back in, including the center divider, real quick. So moving over to the right-hand side, we have this bag. This bag actually contains the wireless mics that I showed you just a minute ago. So normally this would go inside the bag. But this bag right now really just stores the dead cats so that if we have any wind or anything like that, we can jump those on real quick and have them connected. Moving that off to the side, the majority of what's in here now is going to be mounts. So this is a Joby Gorilla mount. So it's a quick tripod, really kind of easy. What's nice about these is that you can kind of create and bend them so that they'll hold on to things. So if you're looking at this camera here, I think I can show you up here that I can clip it onto the back here and hold it up and pull it off. Straighten these out. But it's a quick way to use a tripod if you need one. We have the clamp. Clamps we use pretty frequently when we're filming inside of the Airstreams because we can get some different angles. We can get them clipped above, clipped to the side so that we can kind of get in places and show you what's happening. We're gonna have 3 or 4 selfie sticks or handles, whatever you wanna call them. So this one came with our DJI Action Cam. This one just constantly has this magnetic mount on it. We have this one for the DJI Pocket. What's nice about this mount is that it has a place to put the phone on it, so you can have a larger screen. The screen that's on the camera itself is maybe 1.5 inches by 1 inch. But really the benefit of this is that when you're using it, you still have functionality. So you still have a record button, you can still tilt and zoom, and not have to reach up to the camera itself. We have the 3-way from GoPro. This is nice because it does turn into a quick tripod. It will kind of extend out, and because it's bent, you can kind of angle the camera however you want to. The last of the handles in here is this one from GoPro, which is nice because it floats. So we actually bought this in 2018 when we went down to Kona, and we took it down to Captain Cook's with us, and this came back and my Phoenix watch did not. Swimming in Captain Cook's Bay, I think. And during that swimming excursion, I got hit by a wave, kind of pushed me on shore a little bit, and when it did that, it knocked on the side of my wrist and broke the band off. It has never been found. Then we've got just a mic here. We don't get a lot of use out of this mic because I think we bought it when we thought we were going to use the Nikon more frequently for filming. And that just really hasn't happened. This will mount to the GoPro. It'll connect into the GoPro here, on there. But more often than not, this is more mic than we want or need. We like the wireless mics because they can kind of be hidden and not so obtrusive. I put that back in and I meant to take it out. Outside of that, we have a GoPro case. I think one of the GoPros came inside this, and it mostly just contains some of the different mounts and things like that, as well as a couple of cases for the GoPro. It has a little L-shaped bracket for, I think that was for the suction mount, which, by the way, you're not seeing the suction mount during this video because it is currently in use for this camera. And the last thing on this side is an Osmo gimbal for cell phones. This doesn't get a whole lot of use for our filming, but it did get a lot of use, especially during COVID while Emily was showing houses, because she could do tours without the person being there. It's kind of small and portable, light. We do keep it in here in case we are using our phones and we want the gimbal. Something that I missed as I was going through it and I wanted to make sure to kid on was top compartment here. So in the top compartment, and I'll flip the camera around for you. And again, I just didn't want to miss this. So the couple things that we've got in here. So in this first zipper, we have our ND filters for this camera that I'm using right now, which is the DJI Pocket 2. As well as some connectors for this as well. So it's got a lightning connector and a USB-C connector so that you can get it connected to a phone for updates and things like that. In the second compartment is our SD cards. So we always keep an SD card in every camera, as well as try to keep a charged battery in every camera. But just so we have some extra storage if we ever needed it, there's 4 additional SD cards in here. And in the large compartment on the top, we have some microfiber cloths just for wiping off lenses and things like that. I didn't want to miss those. But that kind of gives you a good look at our Yeti Loadout Go Box. They've now rebranded this the 30. When we bought this one, it wasn't the 30, it is now. So I think the 3 sizes are 15, 30, and 60. The 15 is about the size of like an ammo can. This is about double that size, and then double that for the 60. But it gives you a good idea of how much space there is here, what we use it for, and really just kind of what we use to carry our camera equipment around. So that's our Yeti Loadout Go Box and what we use it for our camera equipment. You can see my truck ones behind me here. We'll go through that one in a future video. That contains just different things for the truck, some tools, and parts that we keep around when we're driving and have a rack on the roof or something to that effect. If you have any questions about our Yeti Loadout or how we use it, or any of our camera equipment, please feel free to ask. We'd be happy to answer. As for now, thanks for watching, and have a great day.